guys, this is Stormouse03, and this is my Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings Dark Difficulty walkthrough. So this is the beginning of Chapter 2, guys. We are moving right along, and again, I just wanted to remind anyone who is just starting out this guide that I'm going to be following the Iorveth path here, if that's not apparent. So when you start off, you are playing as this guy. I forget what his name is. He's not super important. And one thing that I don't really understand, if you play the other side of this, if you do the Roach path, at the beginning of this you're playing as King Henselt, and he's speaking to Saskia, the lady who's walking right in front of us. But when you play the Iorveth path, when you start off, you're playing as this guy talking to Henselt, which is odd. I don't know why they just didn't have you playing as Saskia here, and that would make sense continuity-wise, but whatever. I guess they wanted to have you playing as a dude, so there it is. So you have a little conversation there, and then this again is another sort of scripted moment. You want to make your way over to Henselt. You don't have to kill any of these other people. I think I was just trying to find where he was, trying to get to him. But he's this guy right here, and you just want to make sure that you hit him a few times and he will die or get injured, and then you'll have a little cutscene. So when we get back in control of Geralt here, you're going to probably have leveled up, and so gonna go ahead and put some points in here. I'm finally able to get my Sense of Magic perk here, which is cool. It gives you that heliotrope sign, which kind of slows down time. And I'm gonna put my last point here into control over the power. That gives you some good resistance, some additional sign damage, which is pretty awesome. And gonna get the achievement there, Master of Magic, and that is for getting the Sense of Magic unlocked there. So you don't have to go all the way to the end for that achievement. It's just the next to last one on that magic tree that you have to unlock to get that achievement. But the last one is really useful as well, so I definitely make sure to upgrade that when I have the chance. And as soon as you get some of those later magical abilities in that tree, it you really start to see where the magic is pretty powerful. So right here you're fighting a bunch of undead soldiers and this Draugr right here. Something that you want to make sure you do when you're fighting these Draugr is to loot their corpses. There's going to be 2 of them in this beginning area, and so what I'm going to do is kind of stand here, try to wait and see if it'll allow me to pick something up off of it. I think it doesn't, because this guy over here is too close and it won't let me search the bodies. So I had to come over here and try to go ahead and finish him off. They have their little shields, and so you want to try to roll behind the Draugr in order to kill them a little bit faster. Once you kill both of them, you have a little cutscene here, and then it goes straight into the next part where you're in this sort of magical ring. This is why I tried to pick up stuff from the bodies earlier, because you need to make sure that you get it before this happens, if possible. And I think that I actually wasn't able to, but don't worry, there's going to be some more Draugr a little bit later. It's just better if you can pick up the stuff off of their corpses there at the beginning before it goes into this section where you have to move with this circle. The thing about the circle is that if you step out of the circle, you will start losing health. You don't have to be getting hit, you'll just start losing health, and you'll probably see me do that here at some point, because you can kind of stand in the circle and generally all of these wraiths are going to get killed by Philippa, who is an owl right now. She's our mage that's with us at this point. And so stepping outside of that circle is bad. Usually she'll kill everything. So you don't really have to be running around like you will see me do and try to kill them, but you get a little bit of extra XP, I guess. So during these sections, you want to make sure you kill the Draugr first, and then you can kind of focus on these wraith. It's only one or two of the wraiths that will show up. There we go. And they sort of teleport around. I'm trying so hard to get the stuff off of the Draugr bodies, because the thing that you want is a Draugr armor fragment, or armor piece, and that is for the next set of armor and weapons that we're going to make in this chapter. You just really want to make sure that you get that. At some point during these fights, you'll stop, I think it's like 3 times, to fight a group of Draugr and wraiths. And so you will have, you know, those chances to pick up those pieces. And you just want to make sure that at one point you do. And if you miss them, you want to reload. Because otherwise, you can get the Draugr armor fragment later on in this chapter, but it's going to be toward the very end of the chapter, and it's just gonna make it take a lot longer for you to be able to get the really good armor and weapons set from this chapter. So again, this is the second time I think that we've stopped, and you have another set of Draugr and wraiths. Again, you just want to try to make sure that you target the Draugr first. Roll around behind him. And try to get a few hits in on his back. And once again, you see the power of kin. Kin is your friend. It will keep you from dying. If they get toward the edge right there, you want to do what I'm doing, kind of back up and draw him back into the circle, because you don't want to be fighting him outside of the circle, because you'll die. Alright, so there, I put my weapons away and finally was able to pick that thing up. Draugr armor fragment. That is what we want. So if you're having an issue getting it, like I was, you might want to try that, putting your weapon away, so that you're able to search the body and pick those things up, because that's very important. I've also had this section glitch for me. You'll see how I'm losing health as I'm outside of the ring. I've had this section glitch for me where Saskia and King What's-His-Face or Prince What's-His-Face, whoever he is, are they get stuck behind something and won't move. And if they aren't moving, the owl won't move, and so you don't ever move forward and you just get stuck. I was able to move them along by just sort of physically getting behind them and kind of nudging them to try to get them out. I think they got stuck behind like a rock or some of the barricades that are up that you're walking around. They somehow got stuck behind one of those things, and so I kind of had to nudge them around it to get them to move again. If that doesn't work, you'll just have to reload the last checkpoint, which kind of stinks, but it's all you can do, because if they won't move, you won't move forward. So, in any case, that was the third time that we've stopped. third, or I guess fourth chance, if you count the beginning, to pick up that all-important Draugr armor fragment. It's hard for me to say for some reason. Draugr armor fragment. And I believe we're going to be coming up toward the end here. We might stop one more time, but I think it's only 3 times that you have to stop. And you'll see again, it's sort of boring just to follow along. So I do kind of go out and try to kill some things at the edges of the circle. But you want to be careful about that, because again, if you stay outside of the circle for too terribly long, you just get murdered by the, being out in the misty magic stuff. When you reach this bright light, it will be finished, and you'll go into some fairly lengthy cutscenes with some story stuff, and then you're going to be in the next section of the game. You'll probably level up again. You get a lot of XP from finishing the last chapter from chapter 1, and then for doing that start bit. So you'll probably have leveled up at least a few times. So I went ahead and put my next point there into sign damage or destructive magic, so that I get more sign damage and another vigor, which is good. I'm going to be working on from here, making sure that I have maximum number of vigors, etc. Making sure that all my main signs that I'm using are at full power, that kind of thing. So you start off following this one guy up to this room, and he sort of shows you that this is your room, this is where you can store items, and make sure that you just put pretty much everything at this point into your storage. Again, all of your crafting materials, that Draugr armor fragment that we picked up, anything that you're not gonna sell. And then we're going to be moving on with the main story. Sped this up a little bit because it's just a lot of walking around town here at the beginning. And I'm not going to show you a lot of the looting that I do in this area. Similarly to chapter 1, I figure you can sort of go around to all the houses and loot things. I am going to show you one spot here at the beginning that's kind of important to pick up an armor piece that's pretty cool. So you had a lengthy cutscene there, and then you're talking to, this is Philippa Eilhart, the lady who was an owl before, and this initiates a bunch of the main quests for this particular chapter. So you've got a lot of different things that you can do. We leveled up again. And so, going to put my point into something here. At this point, once you've upgraded a lot of the things, it's really your preference as to what you want to upgrade. I went ahead and went for control over the power again, just to up my resistances and to get more sign damage and to be able to unlock that heliotrope thing a little bit faster. But you can really level up whatever you want at this point. The most important thing was getting to the end of that magic tree, and now you're just going to be upgrading things so that you have more vigors, you have more sign damage, and whatnot. So here, that's the opening gates, and if you go over to the left of them here, into this camp, there's this box right here, and I already looted it, but what's going to be in there is this Elaine Bled armor enhancement, and this is one of the best in the game. It's got vitality plus 15. Somewhere around in this area you'll also find a Doubled piece, which is good as well. So those two things are important. You want to make sure that you grab them when you're looting this area. So in front of the tavern is this guy, Elias, and he's going to initiate a quest for you that we're going to complete a little bit later, but we're going to go ahead and talk to him and pick up this quest. But he's telling you about a series of murders that you are going to go investigate a little bit later, and that initiates that with Flickering Heart quest. Then if you come over here to the notice board, you just want to pick up everything so that you'll have all of those things available to you, the Harpy contract and the mines thing that you're going to be doing. And we're going to head on back into the tavern and do a little bit of work here before we finish off this episode. So you want to go, and this is part of the main quest, you want to go and talk to this group of dwarves. And you'll have a little conversation and sort of talk about all the different things that you're going to need to be doing for the main quest line. And you're going to mention this Immortelle flower, and these guys are going to have an idea of where you can find one. And you're going to end up going into the mines that have been closed for a little while because they have some nasty things down there that you're going to go with this group of guys and help them clear out the mines. We're going to be doing that a little bit later on, but you want to make sure that you go ahead and initialize it right there. And then if you come to the back corner here, here is your one-on-one for this area. So you talk to that guy, you initialize this, and this is the exact same thing that you did for one-on-one in Flotsam. You just have to hit your little quick time events and defeat all of these competitors. And so I think there's 3 that you have to beat, and then there's going to be an I guess boss. Unless you really have trouble with these, you want to go ahead and bet the maximum amount each time, because I find them really easy. It's a really good way to make a little bit of extra coin off of these fights. And again, you need as much coin as you can get to be able to purchase things and be able to buy and craft the armor and weapons set that we're going to be doing for this chapter. And so after you defeat those first 3 guys, you're going to talk to this floofy dude who is upset and says, you can't be the champion here. And so you want to make sure that you challenge him, and he's pretty easy. Once again, it's the same thing. He takes a few more punches than some of the other guys did, but he will be defeated pretty quickly. And so you thrash him. He's going to come back into play a little bit later. I think he might not come back until chapter 3. But he will be returning to give us another little quest that we're going to do. But once you finish all that up, you will have completed one-on-one in Vergen. And we're going to now do the dice poker thing. I like to go ahead and get some of these minigame things out of the way. So you want to go ahead and talk to the tavern keeper over here. Ask him if he will play dice poker with you. He's going to say no because he wants you to beat a couple of other guys first. But that will go ahead and initiate the quest, and you'll be able to see on your map where to go. And so you come up here. It's by this blacksmith guy. Is their home, and you come on inside, and there's 2 of them in here that you're going to have to defeat. So you can do either one of them first. It doesn't really make any difference. You just, again, you can save before you do this in case you lose a bunch of times, but it's likely that you'll be fine. It'll at least come out even. You probably won't lose money off of it. And the amount of money that you would make if you won every single one is kind of negligible. And I just don't think it's worth the effort to have to reload. But that's your choice. So if you want to do that, you can. Again, you'll see that I'm doing this sort of little corner stacking trick thing that can help you. Sometimes it seems kind of random. Once you beat the two of them, you can head back to the tavern, and the tavern owner will now play with you. And so you just have to defeat him. There are actually 5 guys that you have to defeat. I guess there were 5 in the other place too. And so once you defeat him, you'll be going up to find the next guy. So just follow your quest marker. Cecil Burden, you're going to be coming to his house a few times, so I guess make note of where it is. It's a good opportunity with this quest to know where he is, just in case later sometimes the quest markers don't show up just right. And so you'll at least know where his home is. And then we're going to go around here and face our last opponent. And he's going to be plowed by a ferret, which is funny. So here's our last competitor. You just want to make sure that you do the same thing that you've done every time. Play dice poker, make sure you win. Try not to lose too much money on it, because it is sort of random. So you have a choice here to either have a reward of gold or to select the alternate reward. That is just a red, blue, or yellow meteorite ore. And at this point, you should probably have enough of those just from picking things up. So I always take the gold because that's just more valuable. That's my preference. But you can choose whichever you'd like. So that ends up this little episode here. I'll see you in the next one to continue Chapter 2. Thanks for watching, guys.